So question is, and what I challenge you to take a look at is truly, what perspective do you want to have on this thing called chiropractic? You have chosen this, excuse me, as your life's work. You've chosen it as your life's work. Because I tell you what, I talk to people about the movement of the tree and they say, yes, Sue, but what possible importance could the fact that it's moving 1,000,000 miles an hour relative to this multi-universe that you've imagined in your strange little mind, what importance could they have to me right here, right now on this planet? Well, guess what? It's entirely up to you. Because I guarantee you, no matter what perspective you choose to have on chiropractic, guess what? There's going to be a ton of people in our little population that want that. Does it move you? And does it make sense? And is it congruent to what you know to be true? And then speak your truth. Because I'm going to be candid with you. Is that okay? It's not like I'm not going to anyway, so you might as well agree, right? Is that okay? There are a few things that bother me. One thing that drives me nuts is being out of integrity between what you say and what you do. I think it's more damaging than pretty much anything. And in our profession, I live 20 minutes from National College of Health Sciences, I think they call themselves. And they are incredibly medical and therapeutic and linear in their approach to teaching chiropractic. And they're pretty proud of that. You know, they think truly that for chiropractic to progress, it needs to be more in that linear science, medical, allopathic, therapeutic world. And so I live really, really close to them. And I see a lot of people who are served by that and completely and totally happy. And I look at that and say, oh my gosh, what a complete nightmare. Because I couldn't live in that. I couldn't live in it. Because it doesn't make sense to me in any way, shape, or form. It just doesn't make sense. I also live across the street from the headquarters of the Theosophical Society in the US, which is the science of philosophy, the science of spirituality. And so in this one community, you see all of this contrast, all this back and forth stuff. Again, perspectives. Perspectives. Whatever you choose is going to work for you. What brings you life, what brings you passion is the question. Completely and totally. For me, once I decided essentially that truly my life mission is about releasing the interference to that infinite possibility, then guess what happened? Everything I thought I know in chiropractic was unbearable for me. Well, not everything, but many things. The definition of subluxation that I learned no longer worked for me. The philosophy, there were incongruencies in what I had memorized. Because I tell you what, the one thing that's in integrity about how National College supports or does their stuff, they do what they say they're doing. Intolerable to me is chiropractors, and again, I say this with love and respect, I had your permission to challenge you and to be candid. When we talk a particular story and say we're about releasing the interference to that infinite possibility within you, and people are attracted to that, and we say, you know what, we're going to release that interference and then get out of the way and let your body do what it was meant to do. Whether you have symptoms or not, there's always more potential. There's always more possibility to release. And that's what we do. And then, when everything in their clinical expression has a boatload of questions about your symptomatology, your history, your this, your that, they poke and prod and say, does it hurt here? Does it hurt there? They take an x-ray and say, look at all that degeneration. Thank God you're here. Because you know what? You could die with that kind of degeneration. I've heard that kind of stuff. And they use fear to motivate people to come in. And then adjust all of their closed questions being about, does that feel better? And all of their intention about moving that bone and not realizing that that adjustment is simply releasing a process. They're saying one thing and doing something entirely different. And what that creates, as far as I'm concerned, is a population that hears the rhetoric, but deep down, they experience something very different. And so there's a lack of integrity and a lack of truth there. And ultimately, they hear the words and it doesn't penetrate because it's, yeah, I've heard it before. And it's like hearing over and over again, oh yeah, we're this, we're this, we're this. And then that's not the experience, and you just start to realize it's a lie. Straight up. A little sobering, maybe. It's a reality. And the thing is that quite frankly, if I look at it with a gentle heart, I can't blame them. Because, quite frankly, it's what we've been handed. It's what we've been handed. We clinically have not even come close to, on a consistent basis, delivering the possibility of chiropractic. Do you realize that? We are in kindergarten. And the thing is that some people have accepted that and said, you know what? At least this is the best and closest thing we've got. My question for you is that enough for you? Question is it enough for you? Yes or no? And question is, do you know that there's a different possibility? Because here's the deal. You want to play a little bit? Now that I've depressed you all. You want to play a little bit? Because here's the thing. There is an infinite possibility out there. Because guess what? If we take a look at our philosophy, and we take a look at some of the cornerstones of chiropractic, there's some good stuff there. Thing is, though, we need to expand. We have to be willing to look at our philosophy, look at our science, look at our adjusting with a discerning eye and critically, and say, okay, here's a nice foundation, but how can we move it forward? How can we move it forward?